Hello, everyone. After a slight unfortunate event, we are back with a bang, hoping that this webinar is going to sort of kill it and rock definitely. So, welcome back, Harleen, and let's get started with strategies on Punjab and Haryana judiciary without making sure that no other disruption takes place. Friends, please note again that if you have any such intention of creating any nuisance on this group, we are very well welcome to take a legal action against you. So please refrain from doing so. Okay, so we have Harleen again. And getting back to our preparation, so we were on the question of when you sort of start with your preparation, prioritizing becomes very important. And definitely, in terms of sources, what you need to prioritize upon is the BEAR Act. But let's talk about this in terms of subjects. For instance, constitutional law, jurisprudence, language. These are again very important subjects. And a lot of times it so happens that some of us tend to start with very bulky subjects to begin with. तो हम constitution भी साथ में पढ़ेंगे, हम CRPC भी साथ में पढ़ेंगे. We'll read like a lot of things together, and it becomes very difficult to manage such bulky subjects together. So would you like to share with us some particular strategy where we can understand that what subjects should we cover first and in what sort of order of priority should we cover these subjects?
Look, firstly, you need to understand that the subjects like CRPC, CPC, evidence, and IPC, these are the lengthiest.
Right.
And they take, and Hindu law, especially in Punjab and Haryana, Hindu law, it's around 110, 120 marks, right?
Mhm.
So these 5 subjects will take the major chunk of your time.
Right.
Also, maximum number of questions will be asked from these subjects, be it in the prelims, be it in the mains, and especially in the interview. So these will always be on your priority list.
Right.
Also, everyone needs to understand that your preparation is done in stages. If you think that today I'll start with CRPC, and even if I'm giving it 20 days or a month, and you think I am well versed with it, no, that's not going to happen.
Mhm.
पहली बार तुम कुछ चीजें करोगे, then you go through the subject second time, third time, every time you will come up with new points. So for the lengthy subjects, I would suggest that if you're comfortable doing it in one go, spending 20 days, a month, whatever is comfortable, fair enough. Otherwise, divide the lengthy subjects into parts. Let's say IPC, firstly, I'll do general defenses. Then I
Mhm.
might take a break. I can start a small subject, then start with the offenses, property offenses. So the idea is to divide the lengthy subjects into parts and
Right.
do them in parts, right? And in
Mhm.
between, you can take a subject which is not too heavy on your head. Let's say partnership, sale of goods act, do some language. So
Mhm.
I think that's for me that was a good way of going about things. Divide the lengthy subjects into parts and then go about things.
Yeah. And considering that your preparation yourself was in a very strategic manner because you were handling your academics along with study, which is not the case with a lot of us, but is also the case. Like a lot of times you will see that practicing advocates want to appear for the exam, people who are pursuing their masters want to appear for the exam. So, what according to you is that one, the ideal timeline to prepare? And second, if you could help us with how much time should probably the important subjects be given. For instance, someone here has asked a question about Punjabi language. I'll take that question specifically later. But like, how would you divide your time per se, depending on these subjects? Like you just mentioned that probably a bulkier subject can be finished in 20 days, right? But that could also be when you have had a certain idea about that subject. So, what according to you should be the timelines for one, your overall preparation, and second, specific subject timelines?
Overall preparation, it needs a year. I'll,
Right.
even though I have studied, like in my college, I was among the top 5. And
Mhm.
I knew I had a strong base. And like you said, even my 10th semester, I didn't study, I did party, and I did make sure that I enjoy my college life. 10th semester, I didn't study, but my college, I had a strong foundation in college itself. And we had
Mhm.
some really good teachers on evidence law and CPC. So I knew that I do have a strong base. But
Right.
despite all of this, I think you need 1 year.
Mhm.
That's the bigger time frame that I would like to tell you. But it's not that कि ऐसा कुछ फिक्स तो नहीं हो सकता कि 3 साल ही लगेंगे या 6 महीने ही लगेंगे. Sometimes some factors are beyond your control also. Like let's
Right.
say the lockdown, now the notifications have been postponed.
Right.
Other than that, you will yourself feel that if today I am taking 1 month for CPC,
Mhm.
later I might take 20 days. For example, after Delhi prelims, I only had they gave us 15 days. We had to
Right.
write mains in 15 days. So at that time, I did CPC in 2 days.
Wow.
Because I didn't have a choice, right? So it all तुम्हें पहली बार में सबसे ज़्यादा time लगेगा. And I would just want to suggest that don't be so time specific. Let's say if you've thought that I want to complete CRPC in 10 days.
Mhm.
And in the process, you start spending some time on lengthy topics, let's say bail or investigation, and it stretches down to 15 days. Let it be. Time ke chakkar mein, don't rush through the concepts. That's what I want to say. Make sure that your concepts are imbibed, you know. So
Mhm.
if that means taking 5 more days or 10 more days, but when you do it, make sure you do it thoroughly.
Mhm.
So I don't
So,
have a fixed
uh,
time. It depends from person to person, right?
right. That was a very sound advice. And in fact, a lot of times we've come across people who say that just do the past years properly, map them properly, and just focus on the questions that have been asked in past years, and you would be through. Now, that was one of the strategies which was actually working for Himachal judiciary for a very long time, probably until 2015. And now they've completely stopped with it because they realize that it's sort of a pattern which a lot of students are following. So, what is your advice with respect to the past year papers?
You have to solve through previous year papers. I solved both Punjab and Haryana, a lot of previous year papers, and
Mhm.
it helps, you know. Especially, I read a question also. Someone's asking about customary law.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
customary law, you know, there are certain questions in customary law that are asked only in the previous year questions, like Kareva marriage, Chadar Andazi. You will
Mhm.
not find these topics in any of the books. Paras
Right.
Diwan, Poonam Pradhan, I've been through like 4-5 books. You will
Hmm.
not find these questions. So everyone who's preparing for Haryana, please go through paper 2 very seriously, previous year question papers, because Hindu law और किसी भी state में इतनी depth में आता ही नहीं है.
Right. And in fact, these are the concepts that you've mentioned. They're very particular to Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan.
Haryana
So
itself,
the
you
higher
know.
possibility of
So like
questions
in
coming in
Delhi,
those.
Hindu law is value of 30 marks. MP Rajasthan, they don't have Hindu law. So
Right.
my advice to everyone who's appearing for Punjab and Haryana, make sure you go through the previous year questions of paper 2 for sure.
Mhm.
You have to go through and you will understand the kind of questions they ask. You know, adoption, they give very tricky questions which we often take it very lightly. So
Right.
go through it, and there's a book called Basant Kumar Sharma. It's
Mhm.
not a very popular book, but it's very good for adoption. And
Okay.
Hindu Marriage Act, you go through Paras Diwan, and for customary law and succession, Poonam Pradhan is a very good book. So
Okay.
and previous year questions will do paper 2 for you. This will be enough for paper 2.
So, if we are one of those aspirants who are not dependent upon any sort of guidance per se, and our primary source is our books, then what should ideally be the strategy of note making? Because a lot of times, like if you personally ask me, I would get lost in a book. I would read probably a Takwani on CPC, and then I'd like to read 3 other books on the same topic. And this is a net in which a lot of aspirants fall into. So,
So
what
that's
is your
what
advice?
happened with me was when I was in college, I was through with Takwani, Pillai for IPC. So I
Mhm.
was through with most of the books in my college time itself. And that time you have free time. कोई जल्दी नहीं होती, you know, क्योंकि you have no deadlines on your head.
Mhm.
So उस time पे I had marked important stuff. So that helped me. But
Mhm.
for everyone, if you've joined the coaching institute also, it's good. It's कोई coaching institute बुरा नहीं होता, and they
Mhm.
give you good notes and everything. But just a personal piece of advice is, you know, there's no shortcut to success. What happens with students is what they want is कि कोई हमें एक source बता दे, बस हम इसको पढ़ के clear कर जाएं. So
Right.
that's where you lack.
Mhm.
There- one source will never be enough. अगर मैंने books पढ़ी हैं, मैंने coaching institutions के notes भी पढ़े हैं. You
Mhm.
need to filter out कि कौन सा topic कहाँ अच्छे से दिया हुआ है. So you have to
Mhm.
filter things topic wise. कुछ topics books में अच्छे नहीं है, कुछ topics तुम्हारी coaching के notes में अच्छे नहीं होंगे.
Right.
So you don't depend on one source completely. That's where students go wrong. You need to widen your ambit, you know. So
Mhm.
I think widen your ambit. जो topic जहाँ से अच्छा लग रहा है वहाँ से करो. And with books, you know, if it's Kelkar, like CRPC की Kelkar का size देख के everyone gets scared. You don't need to go through the entire book. You need to do some sort of smart study. So
Right.
Kelkar is very good for topics like bail, section 91 to 100, section 303, 319. For these
Mhm.
topics, it's very good, but for some topics, it's not good. Leave those topics. You don't have to read the entire book. So
Right.
तुम्हें filter out खुद करना पड़ेगा.
So I'll just side by side, I'll take a few questions from the audience itself. There's a very relevant question here. Advocate Suraj is asking, they say that answer writing in the judiciary exams is different from writing in law college exams. So what is the improvement? Like, how do you improve on your answer writing specifically to the mains exam?
No, this is a very good question. In colleges, we're all used to writing lengthy answers, 5, 6 sheets. We always say the length of answer will determine your marks. Punjab, Haryana, I really want to warn all the students out there, the paper is damn lengthy. I know students who were very talented, they knew everything, but unka 40 marks या 30 marks का paper ही छूट गया. So now the first thing is, everyone who's preparing, make sure you manage your time well. There are questions, 40 marks each. So now, and another thing which a lot of students don't know is, in college what we're used to is कि हम starting का paper सुंदर सुंदर लिखते हैं, so that we give an impression. So towards the end, we feel कि teacher पे अच्छा impression पड़ गया and we'll get good marks. However, in judiciary, to everyone out there, please note that if there are 5 questions in Punjab and Haryana, one teacher will check question number 1, the another will check question number 2, the next question number 3 by a different teacher. So if you think, you will decorate your base starting answers and it's going to help you, this will not work. So make sure the 5 questions, each question is given 35 minutes, proper time management. That will come only once you practice in a time-bound manner. And answer writing, because the paper is very lengthy, so 1.5, if it's a 10 marker, 1.5, and even if it's a 20 marker, not more than 2 sheets. If you write more than this, if it's a 20 marker, maybe 2 sheets or 3-4 more lines. If you write more than this, तुम्हारा paper छूट जाएगा, which is something I would not advise. Make sure you complete your answer, even if that means, skipping on to 1 or 2 points in one answer.
Right.
So, and about answer writing, link your answers with constitution as much as possible. Like I've scored really well in criminal law, even in Delhi mains and in Punjab mains. So here the key is that, and someone's asking that sheet means what, it means like there are leaves.
Yeah.
Right? So आगे का page और पीछे का, for me that is one sheet. Just the front page for 10 markers. But just if I'm clear, I don't know if I'm clear enough. So
we get it. So one side of the sheet.
Yeah, one side of the sheet, right? So in criminal law, I think what worked for me in Delhi mains and in Punjab was linking your answers with constitution. I'll just give an example. For example, we had a question. It was a very easy question. What is a charge? What are the ingredients of charge? So now everyone started with section 211. What I would recommend is start like, that charge, in constitution, everything can be linked with Article 21 in criminal law. Right. That Article 21 gives you the right of a fair trial, and fair trial embodies that the accused must know what he's charged of. So that's where charge becomes relevant. And it's also an aspect of natural justice that no one can be condemned unheard. So that's a good way to start an answer, right? You tell them the object of why a charge in the first place. So link it with constitution wherever possible. I think that fetches you extra marks over others.
Again, that is again a very important advice, because I think a constitution being like, if we talk about the basic structure of the Indian laws, so if we could just link everything to the Constitution of India, the examiner definitely sees a lot of conceptual clarity. Okay, so I'll just take another question here. Shivam is asking, what if one does not know Punjabi language? Is it easier to learn, to understand, to ascribe? And what is the minimum condition on the basis of which you can appear for the Punjab judiciary? Do you have to specifically clear Punjabi 10th standard?
Yeah. Punjab, you can't even fill the prelims form unless you've cleared Punjabi in class 10. They ask for your mark sheet, or class 10th mark sheet. You can't fill the prelims form. In Haryana, I want to tell people, like I had done Hindi only till class 8. मैंने बाद में 10th boards दिया था. So in notification, there's no condition per se that you have to be 10th Hindi passed and something like that. But when जब हमारी joining हुई थी, हमें documents check करने के लिए बुलाया था, they specifically asked me that show us your certificate if you've passed Hindi in class 10th. So yes, for both Punjab and Haryana, you need to have passed these languages in your class 10th.
In your 10th standard, right? But you can always take these exams. You can always specifically appear for these exams at a later stage if you are focusing upon these two judiciaries. Someone would like to know about, Gaurav would like to know about some timetable, if you could tell the people who are studying.
I had a very rigid timetable. I can't study without a timetable.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm a library person. I never studied in the room. My routine was pretty fixed. I would reach the library by 9:30 or 10. Until 8, I was in the library only, 8 p.m. And you know what I feel is, what happens with a lot of students is तुम्हें खुद तैयारी करके पता नहीं चलता. What happens is they read a lot. But तुम्हें याद कुछ नहीं होता जब finally you're sitting in the mains, no, तुम्हें याद ही नहीं होता. So what I made a point was that like 10 to 8 I'll study in the library. Obviously I'll take lunch break and tea breaks and everything. रात को I was tired, so what I used to do was I would revise whatever I had done during the day. So that I made it a point, मैंने जितना पढ़ा है मैं पेपर में reproduce करके आऊँ. A lot of students face this problem. They will read a lot and they will be like, "क्या पेपर में याद ही नहीं है." So you need to revise, constantly revise whatever you've read. Even if that means एक दो चीजें पढ़नी रह भी जाएं, but जो भी तुम्हें आता है, write it so well that the examiner is forced to give you marks there. So please revise your points on a regular basis.
So more than learning new things, it's important to know very well what you have already learned, right?
Yeah. So, you have to strike a balance. You have to know new things also, but you have to also revise what you've done previously. So my routine was I would study for 3 hours the shifts mein, like 10 to 1, then take lunch break, then 2 to 5. Sometimes I used to take an afternoon nap in the library itself, because then you wake up in 15 minutes. Otherwise, you end up sleeping for an hour or so.
Right. And of course, if you see so many people around you who are studying and so focused, it gives you an extra drive. So friends, one learning that very important learning that we take from here is that definitely libraries are very productive so far as making a continuous sitting is concerned. Okay, so I'll take Yogesh's question now. He says, his question is regarding the sources, considering that Haryana in particular has relatively lesser subjects. So is it advisable to read authoritative text for understanding, or normal notes would do? I think you've more or less answered this particular question, that having a basic idea or having read your basic text once makes a lot of sense. But after that, your next step is to be that you have to see which notes per se are you comfortable with reading and understanding, and stick to them and revise them again and again.
Notes by combining both the textbook knowledge and the notes, your coaching notes. Then make one final answer which you will write in the exams.
Right.
Okay, so that helps.
Dipanshu has a question here. He's asking about case laws. How much and what type of case laws should be read? What is the relevance of latest case laws in Punjab and Haryana judiciary per se? Like in Himachal and Chhattisgarh, they have a very prominent role. Like a lot of times questions are asked on latest case laws. So what is
the book in the market for Punjab and Haryana, Shri Ram Publications ki hai, Tarun Chutani. It's the title of that book is MCQs on case laws. So I would recommend buy that book, solve it. Firstly, it will help you in the prelims, because generally, the landmark cases are asked in the prelims. It's very common, especially in constitutional law. So buy that book, Tarun Chutani, Case Laws on MCQs. And now coming to mains, there are certain questions जो बिना case law के अधूरे ही होंगे. In Punjab and Haryana, what has happened is they've started asking in every question, explain with the help of case laws and illustrations. Even in mains, there were certain questions मुझे नहीं आते थे case laws. So, but for certain topics like, in Hindu law especially, Hindu law you have to do a lot of cases, because it's primarily based on, the Punjab and Haryana High Court judgments, especially the customary law. It has been laid down in judgments itself. Right. But certain topics which are not very important, unme itne cases mat karo, because then you will have a list of, let's say, 500 cases and you will end up mixing all of them. But for important topics like res judicata, then investigation, bail, here, these are topics you need to know the case laws. Your answers will be incomplete without a case law.
Okay, so you've told us a very relevant source here. So everyone here wants to know about answer writing structures and strategies, considering that you did your entire preparation almost on your own. So what was the roadmap that you charted for answer writing? Like, was it writing one answer a day and judging yourself, or maybe studying through a particular topic and then seeing how fluent you are with it? Because I think a lot of times we tend to read a lot, we tend to understand and assimilate a lot. That's why we are very good with preliminary. But the moment it comes to writing, a lot of us have that writer's blog, if one could say, so far as the mains exam is concerned.
So firstly, the key is, revising. the more you look, it's a race against time when you're sitting in the mains. पिछले 1-2 साल से, if you look at the Punjab and Haryana question papers, the paper is not very difficult. It's doable. And let's say if 1,000 people clear the prelims, you know, in the mains, you're basically competing with just, let's say, 200, 300 people. And if there are 20 questions in the paper, 4-5 questions हर बच्चा बहुत अच्छे लिखेगा, the ones who've cleared prelims, right? But ultimately, if you attempt all the 20 questions on point, you will get an interview call. So now it's a race against time because the paper is very lengthy. So I would recommend that, you know, when you're preparing, अब हर topic के तो तुम lengthy notes बना नहीं सकते. Filter your syllabus into very important topics, and not so important. This is what I did, you know, divide your syllabus into 3 main areas. So I will give you an example of CRPC. So in CRPC, investigation and bail are very important. So I made it a point कि मैंने investigation और bail के notes बना लिए थे. But let's say some topics like, you know, what are the provisions of arrest? ये तुम्हें पता है, तुम paper में bare act से देख सकते हो. So there's no point wasting your time on making notes. So, but there are certain, if a topic is very important, I would suggest uske notes banao so that when the question comes, you already have a mental map in your mind and you can write the answer within 5 minutes. Another very good example I would like to quote is like this question was asked twice, even in Punjab and in Haryana. What is relevancy and admissibility? Now, this is a topic we can all explain, but when it comes to writing, you will lack structure. So I have already made my notes, and this was the second last question, imagine, in the paper. I only had 7 minutes by the clock. But because I had a mental map, I could complete the answer in 3 minutes.
Right.
So this is now, if you have notes for certain topics, it helps you saving time and then spending that time in questions which are unexpected in the paper. And in Punjab and Haryana, a lot of differences are asked. Differences between kidnapping, abduction, Mitakshara, Dayabhaga, school, police custody, judicial custody. Make notes for all of this so that you don't waste time in the paper. You just have to, you know, it's in your mind and you just have to reproduce it in the paper.
Right. Varnika here wants to know, how can one prepare from first year of BA LLB itself? Is there, you've been like academically quite good. So if someone has that sort of orientation that they can start from the first year, what's the best way to go?
Just take it easy, you know, you're getting, you know, just take it easy. Don't, it's not the time to stress. I think you should explore yourself, explore corporate, mooting and everything. But even if you want to do, just make sure whatever judiciary subjects are there, constitution, I think in first year you only have contract law, so just study those subjects in depth. That's all you can do now. Don't stress.
And Varnika, if you're in 5-year law college, you must definitely ensure that you don't burn out by the end of those 5 years. You should, and definitely not look back and say that you should have done a couple of things like mooting and other extracurricular activities.
Yeah, right.
You are exploring everything, and while doing so, you are also focusing upon the subjects that are being covered in your college. Okay. Okay. What about writing answers to the point and concise? I think you've given us a very good output already there. Prince here is asking, I am a company secretary. Could you please assist me in short as to how to start for judiciary? Again, like I think we discussed it in our interrupted session before, but just please throw a small light on this again.
No, when you start with judiciary, I think you should do it subject-wise, you know. Okay, let's say I'll start with CPC today. तो तुम्हें एक बार तो you have to go through Takwani, तुम्हारे coaching के notes हैं. And for res judicata, I think you should go through Takwani because it's a very important topic. And so yeah, you know, तो अगर तुम अभी initial stages पे हो, then start with the lengthy subjects. Because once you clear your prelims, you don't have time to, you know, give time. You barely get 2.5 months. तो तुम्हारे जो बड़े सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं सीपीसी, सीआरपीसी, आईपीसी, एविडेंस, इनका तो मेजर चंक तुम्हें पहले ही करना होगा. So make sure now just give your maximum amount of time to these subjects. And please, you know, I'm repeating once again that conceptual clarity जितनी अभी कर सकते हो कर लो, because once you have timelines, okay, अभी 20 दिन में pre है, then 2 months में I have my mains, and then you have to do languages also. There's so much pressure on your head. You can't study with, you know, the amount of patience you have right now and the coolness in your head. It will never be back again. So now just focus on clearing your concepts, even if that means taking as much time as you want to.
Right. And so Punjab, Haryana judiciaries are particularly those where general knowledge has rather a limited component, even though they test general knowledge, but it's like you know your standard GK and you're good to go. But Delhi judiciary is definitely, it tests your general knowledge at almost the same level as UPSC for that matter. So, would you like to tell us anything about reading the newspapers or general knowledge sources per se? Is that required for this particular exam? Because definitely preparation of legal essays is important. And what do you think is the role of newspapers in this?
So, look, I have cleared my Delhi mains also. My interview's due, it got postponed because of the coronavirus thing. And because my focus was always Punjab and Haryana, and look, I ended up clearing Delhi mains also. So,
Mhm.
once you're prepared, no, you can clear any state.
Right.
But obviously, you should target states which have a similar pattern. Like, we don't have judgment writing in Punjab, Haryana, and Delhi.
Right.
So, I used to read Indian Express. If someone wants to read the Hindu, even that is okay. So,
Right.
at Punjab and Haryana, you don't get legal essays. They are general essays, like, is media sensationalizing the news?
Mhm.
Role of media trials. These were the topics which I got in my essays.
Right.
And I wrote the essay, is India moving towards dictatorship? This was the
Mhm.
essay that I wrote in the paper, and I've scored well in English, right? So I think how newspaper helps you is firstly it will improve your basic English and start
Right.
reading the editorial page. You have a lot of articles there. Like right now we know an essay is expected on health lines. So
Mhm.
start reading the newspaper, and if you like an article, why don't you can make some point, you can note down some points, or you can cut them down.
Mhm.
That will improve your essay. There's no good essay book in the market, let me tell you. Like I used to read the newspaper, there was a lot of material on stubble burning, and we often get an essay on environment front. These are the favorite topics, environment, media, and women empowerment. So these topics, if you get something in the newspaper, it's advisable to cut it down, to note some points or collect material. So right now, I think you can collect material on the health thing. You can maybe note down some quotes. And what we were told is that your essay, like I wrote the essay, is India moving towards dictatorship. Now, as a judge, you can't be biased. Like another essay which I wrote was, does media sensationalize the news? So your conclusion always has to be an unbiased one. You can't write a one-sided essay. Is India moving towards dictatorship was a very risky topic. But then
Definitely.
you balance it out in the end, because as a judge, if you only write a one-sided essay, this will show that you have a biased mindset. So conclusion has to be very neutral, and these 3 4 topics, you should always go prepared with these topics.
Right. And I'd like to pick up the most exciting question now. A lot of times, aspirants who are starting to prepare their preparation, we often start imagining ourselves as judges before we go through that entire very grilling process of finally reaching the interview stage. So, Meeta here wants to know how to prepare for interview. Is it necessary to have practical knowledge in the sense of working of the code? Because theory is very different from what happens really in practice. And she has a point here.
Look, I will tell you something. Don't get scared, but this is what has been happening in the previous 3 selections of Punjab and Haryana. So in
Mhm.
Haryana, 120 seats were notified. 60 people had an interview call. So imagine, against 120 seats, only 60 people had an interview call and 28 got selected. This is the total of general and reserve.
Right.
Similar in Punjab, there were 75 seats. 50 people had an interview call and 26 got selected. So
Mhm.
now in Punjab and Haryana, what is happening is that people still end up clearing names in interview. You have a panel of 8 or 9 people, and out of them, 5 are High Court judges.
Right.
Now I think a lot of people they fail in the interview only. I don't know
Mhm.
if they're scared or what happens. Like I scored the second highest in the interview. So I believe, like, if she's asking, practical knowledge, according to me, whatever you are doing in your life presently, your interview focuses on that. If you tell them that I've been going to the court for the past 3 years, they will definitely ask you. Like I was pursuing LLM, so they did ask me what's my dissertation topic. But if someone who's not going to the court, then they will not, they don't grill you a lot on the practical procedures. But yes, if you've passed out in, let's say, 2014, like my friends were asked these questions. He
Right.
was passed out in 2014, and they were like, it's been 5 years, तुम इतनी देर से तैयारी कर रहे हो, why didn't you not take practical experience? So if
Mhm.
someone's going to the court, someone's a practicing advocate, be prepared, they will ask you questions. But if someone, like for me, there was no gap in my education. They didn't explore that area. They just asked me what's my thesis, and then general, obviously legal questions were being asked. And I think in interview, what matters is nobody will answer all the questions. What matters is what you know, how well can you explain it. You should use more of legal language. And if someone's not good in Hindi, I know people जिन्होंने पंजाबी में interview दिया and they got through with good marks.
Right.
So don't think, if you belong to a Google Egg or something, if you give your interview in Hindi and Punjabi, as long as your legal concepts are clear, you should be confident enough.
You too. Okay, so that was again I think the session is going great in terms of the inputs that we are getting from your advices. Someone here wants to know, can anyone from any other state also clear the exam? Yes, you can, provided that you have passed 10th level examination for Punjabi language. So that is the minimum requirement so far as Punjab judiciary is concerned. And for Haryana judiciary, similarly, it applies to Hindi. Okay. Someone wants to know, how many states have you been aiming at? So we know that Punjab has you've already like come out with flying colors in Punjab and Haryana judiciary, and definitely Delhi is on the hold. So all the best to you for that. So, but again, like when you start, should you have a fixed mindset? Should you focus on one particular judiciary and then probably widen your horizon in terms of taking these exams? Or does it make more sense to shortlist a few states and then start your preparation? Like, what should your ideal mindset be within this regard?
Look, because Punjab is my home state, so I was very, Punjab has always been, close to my heart. So my first preferences had always been Punjab. But then because Punjab and Haryana, and there's a lot of uncertainty. You can't just target one state. Like, when I was preparing, I never thought I'll be ranked 3. You're all constantly scared, stressed. So, उस time पे you have to widen your horizon. तुम एक state के भरोसे नहीं बैठ सकते. Especially, my first mains was Haryana mains, and I don't know how many of you are aware, first they gave interview call was only for 9 students, and then a writ was filed subsequently. That is when, then initially my focus was Punjab and Haryana, because the pattern of paper is exactly the same except for Hindi. So I would suggest the states which have similar patterns, you should always appear. Like Rajasthan and MP, they have almost the similar pattern. Because you can't be sure, you have to widen your horizons. However, what I feel is, just अगर कुछ states का बिल्कुल diametrically opposite mains का pattern है, then don't waste your time.
Right.
Like I cleared Rajasthan pre, I didn't go for the mains because I had Punjab mains and Delhi pre. And Rajasthan was completely different pattern. So I on that mains, you need to know कि कुछ states में तुम सिर्फ time waste करोगे. If there's something else on your plate, if you're completely free, I understand. But then, ultimately तुम home state ही आओगे या उसके आसपास.
And I think one thing that you did very well in your preparation was that you never kept all your eggs in one basket. You were also doing a master's simultaneously. So you always knew, and I'm sure that helped at the interview stage as well, because the judges were sure that you are not you're not just preparing for this exam and you're not entirely dependent on it. You have your backups ready. And I think that's one thing definitely which gives you a lot of confidence also while you're preparing. One thing that someone has asked here, and I want to know also, is that a lot of aspirants focus a lot on rote learning. They feel that अगर हम एक section को 10 बार पढ़ेंगे तो हमें वो रट्टा हो जाए, मतलब उसका रट्टा पड़ जाएगा, and then we'll be able to give that output. What is your opinion about it? Because this is something that I've come across in so many aspirants that they feel कि बस हमने पढ़ लिया हो गया, इससे आगे जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. What is the difference between, how do you rather attain conceptual clarity on a topic?
Look, I think rectification can only help you clear the prelims, not the mains, and definitely not the interview in Punjab and Haryana. And Delhi, though mains is, it's all conceptual clarity. Delhi mains, you will never find a direct questions. You will have case studies length of 1 page, 1.5 page. So I think rote learning is a very myopic view. Don't go about it like that way. तुम previous year question paper solve करोगे Punjab and Haryana के, sometimes rote questions are being asked. But let me tell you, you can't befool 5 judges in the interview panel. They will know whether you actually know this या सिर्फ तुम रट्टा मार के आए हो. So I believe, and obviously if tomorrow you're sitting on the bench, you will be a good judge only if you really know the law. So I don't think rectification will take you, it's a short race then. I don't believe it can take you a long way. I don't feel that.
Right. Harleen, could you help us a bit with respect to practical learnings through internships, since a lot of our audience are students who are studying in law colleges right now. For instance, Meeta here has a question. She says, since Bar Council has made it mandatory for students to pursue at least 20 weeks of internships. So even though we haven't been working and just graduated, can internship count as work experience?
Internship count as work experience in what sense? I don't get it.
Probably in terms of, I think what she is trying to bring more clarity to it. I think she is trying to gain practical insights from it, but definitely you can't call it as your work experience because you are not per se deriving any remuneration from it. But definitely if from your internships you have gained certain practical insights, I don't think there's any harm in sort of quoting it in your interview or your mains form for that matter.
Look, like I said, that even I have done internships in my 5-year law course, right?
Mhm.
But in the interview, like I didn't have any gap. 2018, I did my law, and then I was pursuing LLM. So the first question, it's generally in every interview, tell us about yourself. What are you doing right now? So I just told them that I'm pursuing LLM.
Right.
I didn't tell them about my internship unless I was asked. Let's face it, I'm just 25 years old. They know the practical aspect of law more than we do.
Right.
So internships के बारे में तब तक मत बोलो. If you're asked, obviously you have to tell them. But if अपने आगे से बोलोगे, then they will ask you such practical questions. File कैसे होता है, ये कैसे होता है, helmet क्या है. If you're well versed, go ahead. But if you're not, I think the safer option is to keep quiet until unless that question is being thrown at you, because right now we're still in the academic stage.
Right.
Right. So
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you short. Please continue.
It's okay.
And so taking a question from there itself, a lot of participants here have a question of what is the relevance of doing masters, or what is the benefit of doing masters if you are ultimately going to become a judge or go into judiciary. Would you like to throw some light on that?
Because once you become a judge, in your promotions and in your increments, LLM has certain points. In fact, there's a difference in 5,000 to 7,000 difference in your pay scale also. And when in the increments, LLM has certain points. So eventually you will do LLM. Everyone will do LLM. All the judges, be it after clearing the exam or simultaneously, that's your call. But ultimately, if you want increments, you will have to do it.
Yeah, and how did you manage your LLM preparation with LLM with your preparation, your judiciary preparation?
Like I told you, my dissertation is yet to be, and I had a really sweet guide. She was very cooperative, I'll be honest, and she forced me that submit your dissertation right now, and that's why it's yet to be done. But other than that, my focus was always judiciary. So LLM, my only concern was, yeah, it was a sort of backup in case I have to, because I didn't want a year gap in my education. So my priority was judiciary, and LLM wasn't on my priority list. So even if I scored a little less, I didn't bother myself with it a lot.
Right. And you have definitely shared with us the book list that you at least went through once before starting your preparation and in the process of your preparation as well. But I think a lot of people here want to know about any specific books for languages. Would you like to recommend anything for languages?
Okay. For Hindi, there's a book, Arihant ki book hai, 221 Nibandhmala. It's a good book, essays अच्छे हैं. And and let me tell you कि हरियाणा में तो essay is only of 30 marks, which means 500 to 600 words. In English and in Punjabi, you have to write an essay close to 1,000-1,200 words, which is a lot.
Right.
So that I've been telling people that focus on the language at the right time, because तुम 2 महीने में 1,000-1,200 words का essay अच्छे से नहीं लिख पाओगे.
Right.
So then for Hindi essay, then there's Arihant की book मैंने बताई दी है. पंजाबी essays के लिए there's दुग्गल की book आती है, दुग्गल. Essay book अलग है, grammar की book अलग है दुग्गल की. And I read Punjabi Tribune thoroughly. और हिंदी के लिए आपको जो भी न्यूज़पेपर अच्छा लगे, न्यूज़पेपर में जो आर्टिकल्स आते हैं, जितना मटेरियल तुम्हें वहां से मिलेगा एसे के लिए, नथिंग एल्स कैन, नो एसे बुक कैन सब्स्टिट्यूट फॉर इट. और तुम्हें पोएट्री के लिए, एंड इवन रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर हेल्प्स यू. दिस ट्रांसलेशन इन बोथ पंजाबी एग्जाम एंड हिंदी एग्जाम ऑफ 20 marks. So translation, if you read the newspaper, I used to sit with my father, ask him कि पंजाबी का ये वर्ड है तो इसकी इंग्लिश क्या है. So you can sit with your parents, उनकी लैंग्वेजेस अच्छी होती हैं, तो हिंदी का न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ो, उनसे पूछो कि ये वर्ड जो हिंदी में इसकी इंग्लिश क्या है. So reading newspaper will give you material for essay, and it will fetch you marks in the translation itself. और ऐसे बुक्स मैंने बताई दी हैं. ग्रामर की आप 10th बोर्ड की बुक ले लो, पंजाब बोर्ड और हरियाणा बोर्ड की बुक्स, that will suffice.
Definitely, because the standard who's preparing should always know that the standard of languages for all these exams is basic 10th level.
Yes,
so newspaper the language used in your newspaper, of course. So if you're about self-preparation. That is one of the ways you can go about it. Someone here has asked about the book list. We will, there's another aspirant who's shared a very thorough write-up on this. So we'll share the book list on the webinar group after this. And some of us want to know about CLAT and CLAT LLM. Friends, I would like to inform you here that our next webinar is going to be on CLAT LLM. So you're going to gain a lot of insights there. Having said that, we deliberately extended this particular session for 10 minutes because of the unfortunate interruption that happened. But I think the insights that you gave us were so important, and they were, I think we've not gotten such kind of insights till now, because I think you are someone who completely prepared on your own and started from scratch on your own. So that makes a lot of difference in terms of the best one could get from a person who is like completely cracked this exam without any guidance per se. Last question I'll take, and then we'll end it here because I think we've already extended our time limit a bit. Could you please tell us, okay, two more questions. One is about the word limit. So is word limit a myth? Like you've already told us about the side of sheets that must be filled. But sometimes, as you've already mentioned, that sometimes it so happens that you are going to, like the time is going to end very soon and you're still left with a couple of questions. So how do you manage word limit in a situation of that sort?
Look, ऐसे कोई prescribed word limit नहीं है. ये जो sheets की division भी है, you do it for your convenience because ऐसे paper complete नहीं होगा. So, like I said, you know, for a 10 marker, one leaf, या उसके beyond 3-4 lines या one paragraph would do. For a 20 marker or 15 marker, I forgot to tell you, in criminal law, if there's a case study and it's of 15-20 marks, always frame issues. You know, like whether the accused can be charged off, whether this can be done. So in a 15 or 20 marker, always frame issues. In a 10, even if you don't, that won't make much of a difference. So, and, you know, more than, like I said, you know, one leaf would suffice, or 15-20 marks का है तो front and back side, that's enough. इससे ज़्यादा आता है लिख लो, अगर तुम्हारी writing speed है लिख लो, but not at the cost of not completing your paper. And more than the words, you know, just focus on covering the provisions, what is being asked. Just one example, you know, I don't know if I'm dragging it way too much. Like I said, you know, like relevancy and admissibility, I gave that example. So now, you know, you will say relevancy, it's, you know, section 5 says that only this is relevant and no others. So now this, you will tell this. Then you will tell section 136 that there are no parameters of judging what is relevant and what is admissible. It's left on the judge's discretion. And then you can also cover section 11, that whatever is defined, the rest is left on section 11, which is a residuary provision from 5 to 55. So focus more on covering provisions rather than, you know, writing a lot of fancy stuff.
Yeah. And okay, considering that you've cleared these two exams and you know very well about the pattern and everything, a lot of us want to know here about the number of attempts and the particular age limit for Punjab and Haryana judiciary. So
there's no limit on the attempts. There's an age bar. I think it's 35 or maybe 38. I am not sure, honestly. Just check on the website. I'm not, but it's easily 35, I think.
Okay, so minimum 30 person who's of 35 years of age can, maximum I would say, can appear for the exam. Before that, you can definitely
check on the website.
So month has clarified it is 42 years. So it depends from state to state actually. So the best way to go about it is to catch hold of a past year notification and get the details from the same. Do they ask questions on current affairs in the interview? Last question and then I'll end this.
No, really. And in prelims, Punjab and Haryana, general question, GK is of 10 marks. And I think even if you do not know those questions, your law strong, you will get through. For Punjab and Haryana, don't focus too much of your energy on GK. Make sure your law's on point. Right. And in the interview, I wasn't asked any general knowledge question. And even I had a word with a lot of my friends. Barely, you know, something, agar wo tha bhi, it was very recent, like the CA protests or the Ayodhya verdict. So recently tha, it was law ka recent. Right. And, you know, for everyone, keep yourself updated with the recent developments of law. Koi bhi app subscribe kar lo, ya tumhe law seekho bhi bata raha hoga. But then, you know, you can subscribe to any app. Like, I think Punjab and Haryana ki ek judgment thi maintenance pe, jo 4 din pehle aayi thi. And when the interview panel asked me that question, you know, I'm telling you, it was a very difficult question and the judgment was given 4 days before. When I answered that question, they started smiling because no one was expecting that I will answer that question. Just keep yourself updated with the latest developments of law. It helps, especially in the interview.
Right. So I think my feedback personal is that this is one of the best webinars that we've had, because we have gained a lot of insights on Punjab and Haryana judiciary here. I hope you've had positive feedback as well, all the participants who have attended this particular webinar. Friends, if you have any specific questions, you can always mail me at shweta.d@lawseco.in. And otherwise also, again, as you are aware, LawSeco has already launched its lot of the courses, which is what we call a judiciary course, because it is so vast and it covers so many things in detail. So that was all about today's lesson, and thank you. We will come up with a series of judiciary webinars again. And thank you so much, Arlene. You were very helpful in this particular
And
session.
just one last thing to everyone who's preparing, it's okay if you're stressing. I have cried, I have stressed a lot. I wasn't this chill. So it's okay if you're stressing, just learn to fight the odds, you'll get through. And thank you so much.
Definitely.
I hope it was helpful. Thank you, Shweta.
It
Thank
was
you.
very helpful. Arlene, thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.